Alright, in this video I'm going to walk you through some basic administration tips for WordPress 4.12 and above. So first off, you just need to log in. Now there's two ways you can do it. If you have a link on the front, you can actually just click the link to log in, or the easiest way to log in is up at the top of the browser here. Just look for WP admin. And if you type that in, it'll actually redirect you to the same screen. So go ahead and log in with your username and password. Once you log in, it brings you to the dashboard of WordPress. Now the dashboard is kind of useful for different ways. It kind of gives you a glance of your site, so how many posts you have, how many pages you have, and even if there's any comments available for you to look at. Even it'll tell you currently what version of WordPress you're running, and then also what theme is actually running on your site at the moment. Now you can use Quick Draft to actually create quick posts and then save it as a draft. So if you have something in your mind you want to get in there quickly, you can use that. Activity will actually show you things that have just recently published, comments that are waiting approval, pending, spam, that sort of stuff. And you can actually make changes here on the front of the dashboard. Now these are movable, so if you want to move and adjust based on where they are, you can do that as well. So now this is kind of a basic site, so we don't really have a lot of plugins available. But so you can manage your plugins here. You can also manage the different themes and change the theme settings here. So this is going to be kind of a tutorial on how to use WordPress networking. So you can actually build a network for WordPress and actually have multiple sites underneath it. As you see, we have a few sites underneath this one right now. So basically, all your huge administration stuff you're going to be doing is actually going to be under network admin. So if you need to add plugins, install themes, and also even build sites, you can do that here. They also have a multi-user management system at the network admin level too, so you can actually assign what blogs people have access to, or if they have access to all blogs, and what the capacity or the capability level is of the people. So let's say if you want to go ahead and add plugins or even just do updates, you would actually do that at the network admin. You'll know that you're network admin because it'll say network admin, whatever you named your network. So like if you want to do updates, let's say we have 3 updates available. So you can actually go to updates and then just select all update plugins. Now one thing to let you know about this, if you go to the site now while it's doing a plugin update, depending on how quick it is, you may get a maintenance page for a few seconds. So if you have a lot of big plugins or a lot of updates, it will take your sites down for a little bit, so I wouldn't recommend doing it during normal business hours. Now the only time you'd ever use upgrade network is if your database needs to be upgraded, so all you gotta do is hit upgrade network. This is after a major upgrade, so like if you're going to 4.3 or any major upgrade, you'll do upgrade network. All this does is it updates the tables in the database to allow WordPress to upgrade. Alright, so very simple. I'm kind of create a site here to show you how that works and how we manage sites as well. So you can actually use this and click sites. And it's going to show you all the sites you have. You're always going to have a root site and then all your under sites as well. So this will even show you how many users are assigned to it and what the usernames are, when it was last updated and when you actually registered or created the site. So you can actually go directly to the dashboard here. You can deactivate the site if it's not active anymore. You can just keep it, but people won't be able to access it. I don't know really what the spam feature does, but I think it actually like if people are able to create sites, you can actually mark it as spam and it'll do a message, and you can also visit it as well. As I said with the users, you have the ability to actually go ahead and see the sites users have access to. So let's say me, I want to change the access to the site. You can actually go into the users and change the different roles I have. So I can actually go in here and say, okay, I need to add existing user. Here's the rights. Or I need to change his rights on this. So I can come in here, change my rights, and actually change what my access is on the site and change all the settings. So you can kind of go back and forth with it, which is nice. Same thing with themes. Themes are actually done at the network level. So when you're installing themes, you can add them here. But let's say we get onto a site, you don't see the ability to actually add themes here, you only see the themes that are installed. So one important thing if you're installing a theme, you have to network activate it, or it's not going to show in the lower site list. So that's very important to know. So same thing here, all your plugins need to be installed through network admin. A few plugins that I recommend, there's a lot of multi plugins out there that are going to help you, so let me add those real quick for you. So you can just type in multi-site, and it'll just kind of bring back all the plugins that are available. If I spelled it right. Alright, so a few plugins that are useful. The multi-toolbar additions, definitely install that. It's going to be one of your biggest helps. It adds extra menus up to the top to give you more administration stuff. So if you need to actually create plugins or anything, you can do them directly here. You'll see a few more buttons that you have here. You can actually go to the direct pages. Another one that's really important that I like, at least that helps me. I'll show you real quick. The multi-site enhancements, I think, is a very useful one. It adds different options and different information into your WordPress site. Once you notice we activate it, it's actually going to give us what our server stuff's down here. So if you need to go in here and say, oh look, you know, we're on SQL server or SQL 113, our PHP version's here. So you can actually check that information here, and then it moves the version information of WordPress over here. So it just kind of gives you a lot of system information available, and then also does some extra additions in here as well. So you can kind of make those changes, which is nice. The last one that is really important to me is the plugin manager. So you can do multi-site plugin manager, and you're actually looking for the multi-site plugin manager, this one right here. So we go ahead and install that. Now this one's going to actually give you the ability to, instead of having to network activate them, there's some plugins out there that don't actually work with network activating them. You can actually activate them all per site by using the mass activate option or deactivate. You can also give the users the control to auto activate as well if they want to, which kind of gives you a little bit more detail in there. So there's a lot of cool features. Now in your settings in the network admin, there's not really much you're going to need to do. One thing to make sure before you let people use the site, make sure your maximum upload size is a very high amount. It's actually set, I think, at 2 megabytes, so you want to make sure that that's a little updated, because it's actually in kilobytes, not megabytes. So just put a big number in there. And if you are limiting the total size, make sure that this is enabled as well. Then you can also enable the plugin administration for your site admins, so they can actually get the ability to install plugins, so which is kind of nice. Now if you want users to be able to register, you're going to make that changes here, and this is effective through all sites. So if I want user accounts to be registered, you do that here. Once your network's set up and everything, this is just kind of there for information. You should have already had all this stuff copied into your the files that are needed there, so it's not really anything big. So let's go ahead and go into one of the sites and kind of just go over what's available in the normal dashboard. So obviously you can create a new post, change your categories, tags. You can manage your media library, so pictures that are going to be going in your content. Pages, so you can actually manage your pages here. And then you can manage your comments as well. And as I said, in the network part of WordPress, you can only actually choose the themes, but you can still actually change the theme options that are associated with it. So if you wanted to make the header clickable, you can, that sort of stuff. It's all available in here, just like it is in the normal WordPress. So if you just see the link I just clicked on, the network theme editor, all it does is bring you to your network admin. So it kind of adds those little links in there. So instead of you having to click through, do all these clicks, it's there available for you. The same thing is actually available here too. So you can see network plugins. This will actually take you to the network plugin screen to be able to do the updates. So it kind of gives you some visibility into the system. And now if you give them rights, you can actually click here and they'll be able to actually add plugins themselves as well and just activate them on their site, which is nice. So it gives you little options there. Still, you can manage. They can manage users on their site only. Now, however, keep in mind when they add a user, it's going to add it into the whole entire network, but they'll only have visibility to their site. Tools, import, export. If you want to delete the site, and the tools available. And then settings, kind of smaller than a normal site. The networking kind of takes all of the settings out of the settings menu and puts it in network admin. So when you actually make the site, that's where all that stuff is configurable. So, but that's about it for the admin section. In our next video, we're going to be going a little bit more in depth into the different plugins and how they're functional.